here at the Hall of History, and we're looking at a couple different reactions to the Great Depression. Uh, President Hoover on the left here, and FDR on the right, and we'll look at the how the Depression really changed the political landscape of America at the time. Hoover's presidency, you can see in 1928, he won the popular and the electoral vote rather handedly. His famous saying, "A chicken in every pot and two cars in every garage." That was his campaign slogan, and it did get him onto victory in the late 1920s. Hoover's reaction to the Great Depression was this idea that goes back, if you remember, from the early 1900s, the American rugged individualism. Get rid of this. And that was his idea. People should succeed through their own efforts. Their families should take care of them rather than depend on the government to bail them out. Kind of interesting. You think Hoover is right. Hoover believed that charities such as churches and local organizations should pitch in and help people out. He also talked with business leaders and asked them not to cut wages or lay off employees. This is the this argument is still holding true today. There's that battle between should the government help people or should people that whole idea of pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, and it's still out there at this time today also. Well, you look at the midterm elections in 1930, the Democrats gained seats in the House and the Senate. And really what it was, why the Democrats gained much more seats now, is because the economy wasn't improving at all. You look at all the shanty towns, which we looked at in the previous one, and they were starting to be called Hoovervilles, and typically, as you know, as it is now, the economy, especially during non-war years, the economy will, if it's a good economy, they'll keep who's ever in power in power, and if it's a bad economy, people will usually vote those people out of office. Even with all this, with the midterm elections, Hoover still refused direct support. He did not believe in government intervention. Well, as it dragged on, Hoover began to change his philosophy. Really, he had no choice. You know, the economy wasn't going any better, and so he started putting money into large scale projects such as the Boulder Dam, and all these projects were hoped to jumpstart the economy, create jobs, put people back to work. The Federal Home Loan Bank Act lowered mortgage rates and allowed farmers to refinance their loans at a lower rate. He also authorized emergency financing to banks, life insurance companies, railroads, and other large businesses. Not too much unlike what happened in the United States 3 or 4 years ago. Well, he got to the 1932 election, and the economy wasn't doing very well. And a group of World War I vets was gassed while they were protesting. You know, tear gas was put on them, and the end was near for Hoover. There's no way he could overcome that public political fiasco of doing that. So if you look at the results, Hoover had about 15 million, 16 million votes, and Roosevelt about 22.8, but in the electoral vote, it was almost a 7-to-1 landslide victory for FDR. And here's a couple questions you can answer in your notebook. You know, what belief implies about government action, his policies, and were these policies consistent with his beliefs? And you know, this whole idea of rugged individualism. Americans always prided themselves on that, and that was his political philosophy at the time. And you know, essentially, it probably cost him during this time period. Well, FDR got in there. The New Deal, he felt government could and should fix the problems. And he had some goals here: relief for the people who needed it, economic recovery, no great news there, and financial reform. A couple examples of this was the Civilian Conservation Corps. This is when the area of national parks really took off. They went to work at the national parks, uh, putting buildings up. Many of your if you go along the road, you see these so-called stone fences, and many parks at this time were really built and expanded during this time period in 1933. Also, the Social Security Act provided a pension for retired workers and their family. This in 1935 here. This is still in effect today. You'll hear people as they get near retirement talking about the Social Security Act. And again, both of these were government intervention, and these were started under FDR.